let's make some soap. Again, today we are, my oils are at about 84 degrees, which is a little cool, but my ship was really cool today. Oops. And my lye is about 89. So we're pretty close in temperature. My lye goat's milk solution that we are, as per usual, going to strain through our handy dandy little strainer, which why I always pour this in so that I have to do this left-handed, I have no idea. But anyway, so today's soap, as said in the introduction, is inspired by what I imagine an English garden in summer would look like. And why I was even thinking about this is because in our voluntary containment, as I call it, our self-isolation period, I can't go to the library, so I've gone back and gone to reread some books, and then I realized that I have not actually read a lot of Jane Austen's books. So currently I am reading Sense and Sensibility. I'm not sure if there was like a movie or like TV miniseries kind of thing, like with Emma and Pride and Prejudice made for Sense and Sensibility. There may have been, I don't know, I haven't seen it, but I have seen Emma, and we just watched that recently for the first time, and kind of re-inspired me to try to go back and read the rest of Jane Austen's works. And then like tomorrow, we plan on, in our isolation, we are going to have an proper English tea, and I'm going to make some Earl Grey scones and some tea sandwiches and some salmon mousse, which evidently no one but me is looking forward to. Sounds good to me. Salmon mousse sandwiches. And then what else are we having? My daughter is making some organic peanut butter cookies, and that's really, we're not going to have a whole lot of sweet stuff, mostly just lunchtime items. But let me get this blended up. As light of a trace as I could get, because I am unfamiliar with using this fragrance oil, even though it says it will not discolor. It is a very floral smelling, and the Tennessee's florals have to accelerate trace. So before I add the fragrance, I am going to split this off, and then we'll add the fragrance oils to each of the colors. I have 4 colors. This is Rose Pearl Mica from Brambleberry. The blue is Proud Peacock from Nurture Soap. And the green is Kelly Green by Brambleberry. And then the purple that we're using is called Purple Haze by Nurture Soap, which inspired me to try. I'm going to try to think of a to go with our musician soap. I'm going to try to think of come up with a design for Jimi Hendrix. Poor man was not. Oh, I shouldn't say poor man, because he kind of was self-destructive, did it to himself. But alcoholism and drug addiction ran in his family, so it is genetic, just something that people have to know about their genetics and really fight with and be conscious of in their decision making. But anyway, my son loves Jimi Hendrix. I am not a huge fan. I'm actually the one who introduced him to Jimi Hendrix, but still not that big of a fan. Not my style, but he loves him. Well, he likes his music. He loves specific bands like U2, which we've already done, Journey, that we've already done, Johnny Cash, not done, which I think Johnny was actually who introduced him to U2 in the first place. Besides me telling him he listened to one of his first U2 songs was a what do you call that, compilation? I don't know, whenever they get together and sing together, a song that they did together that Johnny Cash did with U2. And then I have some titanium dioxide that I'm going to add to the rest of this. I think I'm going to pour just add a little bit more to my pink over here, and my green, just add a little bit more to the colors. Because I want this to be very colorful, and I'm also doing a soap on the side, a little silicone mold that I'll be filling up with this as well. So that sidetracked me, Purple Haze. We were talking about Jane Austen, and then suddenly we're talking about Jimi Hendrix. All right, I guess that's on the outside. All right, so we will add our titanium dioxide to the rest of our batch here. And then I'm going to add the fragrance, and we are using, the fragrance is called Afternoon Tea. By Nurture Soap, and it is very floral. I don't know what I'm smelling. I'll have to add the scent description again. I can tell, I know that there's some, it's kind of like a slightly spicy. Vetiver maybe? I don't know. We'll have to, I'll put the scent description down in the box. I was hoping it was going to maybe smell like Earl Grey Tea, but it did not, so, because I want to do an Earl Grey Tea inspired soap, but I'm still gonna have to look for that one. If you guys know, if you're soap makers and you know of a fragrance oil that smells a lot like Earl Grey Tea, help a soaper out and let me know. All right, so I'm missing my design. What was my design going to be? Well, let me mix these. We'll mix the fragrance in to these. Oh, it was all just in the pot swirl. That's what we were doing. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll do a drop swirl. But anyway, so it is inspired by what I imagine an English garden would look like. One of these days I will get to Europe again. Went to France and Spain when I was in middle school. It was, well, almost was like, we don't have freshmen. So I was a freshman when I was a freshman in high school, but I was still in a middle school, or junior high is what we called them. Middle school, I don't know. That was when we went to France and Spain, so it's been a while, let's say. And I would love to go back. It's on our bucket list to go to England. We love all things English. We love tea. Big tea drinkers. James Herriot. One of the things that inspired us to raise livestock and to be self-sufficient and for me to take care of them. Probably if I would have watched that when I was younger, it would have inspired me to become the vet that I probably should have been. But honestly did not take my schooling as seriously. I did well in school without really having to work that hard. If I had worked harder, then I would have been able to get into the University of Florida, where I could have gone to their vet school. But I did not. I did as little as possible. And I got into Florida State instead. I'm not sure if I even applied for the University of Florida. Being a veterinarian at that point was not on my radar. I wanted to be a writer. But they say, what is it? Thank God for unanswered prayers. What's his name? You know, the country singer. You wouldn't know that I could listen to country music. My mom actually worked for a country music radio station when I was in college. Why I am totally blanking on who sang that song, I have no idea. I can picture his face, and he's married to Trisha Yearwood. Garth Brooks, there we go. Currently married to Trisha Yearwood. I don't know how the state of the relationship is. All right, so let's get our mold pulled over here. And I'm just going to put down a layer of the white. And then I need to keep enough to put on the top. I do not like these spatulas. I like the little flat ones. These, not a fan. I'll just go back and forth with each one. Making a mess again. These are the little spatulas that I like. Other soap makers, I'm sure even bakers, people like find their favorite spatulas. I definitely have my favorites. I had it was the perfect spatula, perfect little spatula. I love that thing. And then it dropped behind the stove, and no one has gotten it out for me yet. I have a gas stove, so it's kind of hard to pull the stove out. And so my husband has not done that for me yet. And this one is kind of thickening up. I'm gonna have to start pouring from pretty high here. All right, these are starting to thicken up on me, so I'm just gonna start popping it in here and remembering that I need to save a little bit of each color for the top. I need these florals. Maybe I was soaping's too cool today. But florals are notorious for accelerating. It wasn't too bad, but definitely not a lot of time to do like an extensive design like I do sometimes. bring back our white. Wait. Get this a little bit cleaned up here. And then we will tap this down. Now, we'll get some of this white poured on that I'm going to try to spread out. Along the top so that it covers everything. Alright, so we'll get this all spread out as best I can here. This one is definitely good if you wanted to do any kind of texturing, as you don't have to sit around and wait too long for it to get nice and firm. So cool. I had enough to get the top all nice and covered. And then we'll texture the top, and then I'm gonna come back and do a little, use a little handy dandy spoon here, and then add some texture to the top with, or not texture, some dried flowers. To the other side that we're not pulling up. All right, so I just want to go down this side. I don't like leaving it like so. And I want to knock down the edges on this side too. All right, so we're gonna I've got some dried flowers, just the petals of the flowers, and we're just going to add those down just to this one side. Stay over on your side. This one smells really good. Gosh, I'm trying to, I think I smell like citrus in there too. It could be like lang lang, or however you say it. Maybe that's what I'm smelling. I'm gonna put a little bit more on here because I know these are gonna fall off when we go to cut them. Some of them will. So put more on them than I think I'm gonna need, or more than I would like to see when on the finished. Soap. And we will have this down again, kind of set them. And set on there. All right, so that is our kind of Jane Austen inspired English tea garden soap that I have no name for yet. So if you feel so inclined to help me out with a name, go ahead and leave that in the comments. We would appreciate it. And if I choose your name, I will send you a bar. So we'll consider this a contest. Whoever comes up with the best Jane Austen English garden inspired name for this soap, and if we pick that name, then we will send you a free bar. So leave your name in the comments, and we will be back in about 24 to 48 hours, depending on how long I can wait before I cut into this soap, because I haven't got a whole lot to do. I used to drive a lot, and right now I am not driving very much. So I am at home and I have a lot more free time. So anyway, so y'all let me know, hook me up with a name for this soap. I'll send you a free bar, and let's meet me back here in about 24 hours or just a few seconds in YouTube time, and we'll cut this up and see what it looks like on the inside. Okay, we are back, and so let us cut this beautiful soap. All right, I'm gonna turn it over on its side because I know those flowers are gonna leave drag marks. So we shall cut it on its side so we can not have that. Ooh, pretty, pretty. All right, so what have you guys been doing? We have been, it's pretty much life as usual, except for my son is now taking online classes. Isn't she pretty? Oh, and it smells so good. Oh, so fresh and feminine, but even if it's almost unisex, my husband said he liked it, so. All right, so anyway, my son has been taking online classes. He still has to go to work every day because he works for a school, and while he's in college, he works for the school that is attached to his college. He works in their department where they do the online school. So obviously everybody's homeschooling right now. And if everybody who's never done that before, welcome to the club. I homeschooled all three of our kids. We have one remaining who is just finishing up a few of her final credits before she graduates. She only has a couple of more things that she has to finish before her graduation this year. We could have finished up earlier, but we were kind of taking it easy because we have moved so much. We wanted to give her a nice easy year, her senior year. Oh, that one looks so awesome. But anyway, so welcome to the club, all you, I heard somebody use the term accidental homeschooler. I don't know, I did it on purpose. So, but I do feel for you because, I mean, if you're jumping into it, you didn't have any time to prepare. We had years to prepare while our kids were little because we knew from the beginning. We actually put our oldest, at the urging of family members, we actually put our oldest in a, what do they call it? I guess a preschool, and it lasted all of 3 days, and yeah, I just couldn't take it. Personally, it was just not right for our family. We have actually homeschooled our kids, and we have been there each and every time that they were involved in children's ministry. We were there. That is vitally important to me. It was most important to teach my children about faith and not have that left up to somebody else. So I didn't want our children's education left up to anybody else from the beginning. So we had a long time to prepare for how we were going to do things. And it doesn't matter how long you prepare. It's a challenge because we decided to go with an approach quite a ways into our homeschool journey. At first, we were trying to do school like public school, like what my husband and I both were used to. We had a little public school right at home. That, however, did the whole classroom and the room separate just for the kids' school when we had a house where we could do that. And then it quickly went to, we decided that we were going to gear their education more to their interests and their learning abilities or their challenges, because my son has dyslexia. So I had to learn I did a lot of training to learn how to help him. And anyway, so it was an adventure, but it is fun. It's an awesome opportunity that you can have with your kids. So if anybody has any questions about homeschooling, let me know, and I will do whatever I can to assist you in some things. It's been a long time since I've had little ones, but been homeschooling high school for the last few years. But I do remember some of the things we did. So if you have any questions, let me know. But anyway, so that is. Actually, I have no idea what we're going to call this one. I'm going to have a contest. So anyway, you guys let me know a name that you have for this as well. I'm going to post this on Instagram and ask in our Facebook page, which you can find us on Facebook at Faith Farm Goats, Faith Farm Miniature Goats on Facebook. It's Faith Farm Goats on Instagram. I'm going to post a picture and ask the question of people to name this soap. It was inspired by tea time in an English garden. If that gives you any ideas, we hope it does. So if anybody comes up with a good name, we were also like Jane Austen. That's the book Sense and Sensibility that I'm reading, which inspired me this whole thing to go with the English tea time theme. And we actually had a tea party yesterday. I spent the whole day no soap making. We spent the whole day getting ready for our tea party that we had for dinner. English high tea, made scones. We did all kinds of fun stuff. And I think everybody enjoyed it. It was a nice distraction. But anyway, if anybody wants to, please enter the giveaway. I will give whoever's name I pick one of the bars. So put your name in the comments below or check us out on Instagram. You can enter that way as well. So whoever name we pick, we will send you a free bar. So please hit the like button. That really helps with the algorithms on YouTube to get our videos seen, and which helps support our farm. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell if you want to be notified whenever we upload a new video, which should be quite often because I have a lot more time. I'm not driving so much these days, so I have plenty of time to do videos for everybody. So anyway, check us out on Instagram and Facebook, and let us know what you think about this name, and we will see you later.